The Denver Black Arts Company was started in about 1977, a little bit before that, maybe right around the end of '76. It was a company that was formed to create a community bond and teach theater to an audience. You know, it had some professionals, some semi-professional musicians, and a writer by the name of John McCallum, who was really interested in doing plays. He had studied at the University of Northern Colorado, and he had really gotten into theater, and he wanted to create a theater company that had a community base.
Though they did a project the year before, in 1975, called DAT, and it was a musical where Cleo Parker Robinson, actually, her company was part of that show. It was a theater company that did completely original work. At times we did other work outside of the company, but it was very rare, and usually with in a collaboration with another company. Original works, I think, are as important now as ever. I think Denver, in a sense, back then, we welcomed more so original work, and it's important because other places like New York, Seattle, Minneapolis, part of their thing is the fact that new theater is born, it's created there, then it goes out to other markets, and it gets a chance to be seen. We have talent like that here among playwrights, directors. In order to become proficient at new works, you have to really direct new works. Be the first one to put your feet into it. Having nothing in front of you to say that, well, this character was played this way by this person, or directing a piece that you've seen before. It has a different kind of dynamic, and the workshop quality that we had at the Denver Black Arts Company, I think is still very true and alive. I would like it to perpetuate it even more so, and truly have an open workshop of new pieces, so people coming to a place like Shadow Theater Company, they would know that, wow, that they're going to do original work, and it's going to be very challenging, emotionally, intellectually. It will hit you on many levels of consciousness and pathos, for that matter. But there are a lot of things go through. I think there's more of everything here, but the follow-through is it's still important for youth to have a place to express. Not just to absorb all year long, but to learn, to express those things that they have absorbed and built up in their hearts and their minds and their souls, and be able, as an artist, as an actor, as a director, as a writer, to be able to express it and share that with everybody, because they will find people who are of like spirit, and they can help them, or they can just touch that piece of their soul and allow them to release.
The Denver Black Arts Company was important at that time simply because there were very few other venues.
We had performers who were very hungry, and they were growing as artists, and in the theater scene at the time, basically, if you were a minority, you just came on and you were a cameo, you were a character actor regardless of skill. Very seldom would you get a lead. And then, again, it's still usually only accumulated right around February. So the rest of the year there was really nothing for an artist who was a performing artist in this town. So Denver Black Arts was very important for all of us. We got to play the leads. got to write the shows. We've got to do every aspect of being in a show. I think for the purpose in general, it was for the fact that African American artists, we exist 100% of the time, not just in February. I think some of the same elements are still in play. We have more theater companies now than we had then, obviously, in the region, but then still the percentage of African American roles in any of those, or roles in general, are still pretty slim. So an artist who wants to continue to grow has to either create those roles for themselves or be in a company that actually can facilitate that kind of growth.
The Nubian House had kind of shelved off and closed, and the other small black theater companies were doing things that were more political. However, Denver Black Arts Company was doing things that had a social connection, but at the same time were very different in terms of how they approached theater.
Very exciting time. Artists, I came along during the Denver Black Arts Company's version of The Hobbit, which opened in '76 and went into '77. It was packed every week. Audiences loved the show. We had people from New York coming to see the show, wanting to move it to New York at one time.
And it was based around community activity and community participation on all aspects, whether that was technical theater, acting, or any element of creativity in the theater realm. They were trying to bring in community people, give them an opportunity to really learn the craft and practice it on a regular basis. So it was very important to give them a start in terms of that resource that wasn't in our community.
John McCallum was the artistic director and musical director as well. But we had a lot of writers. Kenneth Grimes came out of that group. Carlton Bacon, myself. All have written plays. You have people who started companies like Donnie Betts. He was a part of the company as well. Who else? Jeffrey Nicholson. All came out of that, started Shadow Theater Company. Joe Button-Kill, who started Eulipians. All were in the Denver Black Arts Company. A lot of us are still in the business in some form or fashion, always blending a little bit of education along with theater. It went from '76 to like 80. I'm thinking 82. But yearly we had a huge musical. We did A Wish for Avatar. Next year we did a rewrite called just Avatar. We did Denver Black Arts Company Goes to New York. We had a lot of original pieces. Can't Cope, which was Jeffrey Nicholson's first leading role in '78. Gifts by Kenneth Grimes. There were a few shows that Barca, Men of Lightning, was written and performed in '81. But it had a good legacy of people, and a lot of them, again, are in the business. Some are in New York, some are in LA, some are here. So I feel very proud to be part of that group of people. Jimmy Walker actually went to New York, and the Off-Broadway award, I can't remember what it was, but he was like in contention for that when he had to come back because of illness here in Colorado. His brother, a lot of people were thinking he was a shoo-in to win that. A person who won it 2 years before was a gentleman called Denzel Washington. So just knowing the scope of these people and the things that they've done is just incredible. Cheryl McCallum, who was the founder's younger sister, was in Lion King and still may be in Lion King. I know she's done it for over 10 years.
The greatest legacy of the Denver Black Arts Company has been its people, its offspring. When I look at myself, Hugo Sayles, who's gone on to be the associate director there of Shadow Theater, Joe Keel, who was a participant and created the Movement Free Dance Company, which was kind of a interconnected company with the Denver Black Arts Company, and several other folks have gone on to have professional careers.
I didn't say Vincent Hardy. Vincent Hardy is a professor of theater in Houston, and he was a performer in New York for years, many years. So there's so many success stories there that